Hi guys! Oh my god. Welcome back. Officially welcome back to another episode of Unscripted with Champagne DeVoe, aka Lulu. Oh my god, I'm so excited to be back. And I have a lot to discuss and a lot to say. First and foremost, I apologize for you guys not having an episode for a while. And there's actually a reason, and there's a lot that we're going to be celebrating. There's a lot of tea to sip, so I hope you all are ready. Grab your blunt, your drink, your whatever you enjoy, even if it's a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, however your fix is. Get ready and get settled for an episode that you're going to love. So before I get started, I just want to backtrack a little bit. The last episode that I did say we were going to have a season finale. The interesting thing is it's filmed. Okay, it's filmed. I wasn't really happy with the outcome of the episode. Like, the makeup was great, the lighting was phenomenal. And just to give you like a little bit, I had just come back from a long trip. Well, not a long trip, but I was in New York, for some business. I went to see family, of course, and it was the best time. And as soon as I got back, instead of coming straight home, we decided to go to Boca Raton for the weekend. And I said, you know what, honey? I said, I'm just going to take the time before we really go out and enjoy ourselves to film my finale. And we stayed at this beautiful hotel. So it was all the insides and, it was a really great episode. But I had all these interruptions and then I was getting phone calls and then I just, so long story short, it's filmed. I think as a treat, I'm going to debut it directly on my YouTube, which is, obviously where the show airs as well. And just give it to you guys. It's just a special to see. Because like I said, I don't think it was the juice in it is great, but the interruptions and everything, and I didn't want to edit it and make it half half-assed or make it sound anything less than what I would give you, which is my full 100% of myself. Now, to backtrack a little bit, as I stated before, it's been a minute and there really is no excuse, but we also had, when I came back, we had a little bit of a break and then we had Milton come in, so Hurricane Milton was something that even though thank God I'm okay, my family members that are out here are okay. But there are people who are really going through it out there and my prayers are really with them. And, if there's anything that I can do with my show to help promote any way to donate anything for anyone out there that might need help or anything of that matter, please DM me because I know what it is to go through these storms. And, especially being a New Yorker and moving and I feel like I've become a snowbird, but I'm not because I live here. But I've now I know what it is and I've made myself more accustomed to what it is to go through a storm. Like we don't go through what they go through here in New York. So my thoughts and my prayers are really with all of you. And like I said, please reach out. And if there's anything that me or anyone on my team, my friends, my family that we can do, we will do our best. In saying that, about I would say 48 to 72 hours later, I ended up getting sick. And when I tell you sick, I mean me and we were in bed. When I tell you I had a baño, I had all these when I tell you Kleenex just draining out of my nose. I hate to give you that, but that's just how I felt. And then to top it off, my throat, I couldn't even. When I tell you that I went from, and I have a pretty deep voice. Like I know it could get a little light once in a while, but I have I have a deep voice, but I don't have a Barry White voice. My voice was so deep that I didn't even want to speak. I just wanted to, I think I ordered, line. I didn't order. I walked. Because one thing about me, I believe, if you're going to build your immune system, you can't just take a vitamin. You have to get out of bed and you have to participate in activities. I'm not saying go outside and sneeze on everybody, but instead of ordering the soup and the tea, get up and get your own soup and tea. It'll help you. The fresh air and all that helps your body. Look, my hair's moving. That's how true it is. And so, long story short, I was healing from that and also trying to navigate what I wanted to do for you guys because I said to myself, I can't leave this finale like that. But like I said, I'm gonna do that little special, and to make today even more special because I said there's gonna be moments that, well, first off, not moments. We're going to celebrate. This is an episode of pure celebration, and I want to, like it really, it's gonna be so good. And before I get into anything else, the beginning of the celebration today is the first day I am filming my season 2 of my show, Unscripted with Champagne Deveau. I mean, are you kidding? I mean, I'm so excited and uh, elated, if you want to use a big word. I'm just so blessed, so happy and able that I've been able to do this. And I don't even want to say fans, but because I don't feel like I'm deserving of a title like that, but all the people that have supported me and have reached out to me, whether it was for criticism or for an actual happy for you and have been a part of this journey, I thank you so much. And in my finale, I didn't get to really do the thank yous that I wanted to. So I just want to also thank my guests. I want to thank my best friend, Jen, aka Lala. You guys knew she started the show with me, and I want to thank her so much. She's been my friend for almost 2 decades, and she's been a part of everything I've done. And to have her on and to know that I had her support from the beginning just means the world to me. And I know you're going to listen to this and you're going to see it, and I love you. And just thank you so, so much. And, thank you to uh, first off, my sisters, my mom, my dad, everyone, my family, my friends in general who have supported me. My sister Karina, everyone, that I had my episode with her. If you guys don't follow her, she's on YouTube, Okay the Chameleon. And just thank you, sis. All my sisters are so special to me, even though I'm the eldest, which I don't know if any of you knew, I'm the oldest of them. But the girls kind of ground me in a way that nobody else can. I tell them I don't know what it is to have a brother, but to have sisters is a true gift, because they always have your back. They always have the best advice. And, and to be on a journey that I wasn't really too sure of in the beginning. And it wasn't about the outside world. It was more me questioning if I could even do what I wanted to do. And the fact that I had everyone's support, it just means the world to me. Like even now, I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. Like I even did a special look. I did dark eyeshadow, which I never do. I did a little under the eye. I made my lips pop. I wanted it to be so special. And I just want to thank each and every one of you, down to a review, a listen, a repost. You guys have no idea how much you continue to motivate me. And I hope that this episode and the celebration of season 2 will entice you to stay on this journey with me. Um, but I do want to thank everybody, and including, I never really say it. I'm very private, but I also want to thank my man for his support. He's always, we don't always have everything in one shot. I don't think anybody does, but the support that I've had and the love that I have gotten from everyone. Sometimes I think it's so overwhelming that I have to really sit down and ingest it. And it reminds me just how fortunate and how blessed I really am. So I really want to thank you guys, and I hope that you enjoy this season, and I hope you enjoy the show. So we're gonna go into the finale a little bit. I don't want to, like I said, I want you guys to watch it, and I hope you guys will enjoy and laugh. There's a lot of bloopers, and there's a lot of, but when I was filming the finale, actually, OC had they didn't just start. They were like maybe like 4 or 5 episodes in, maybe, or close to it, and I hadn't really reported anything. Not to mention, I watched House of Villains. I got to watch some other shows. I also missed out, by the way. I wanted to give a shout out, and I do apologize in advance. I always try to remember every single event and something that happens, especially in mental health, because when the time comes, I do plan on discussing the topic more, but I don't want to discuss it outside of the month. I want to discuss, like, when it's breast cancer or whatever the month is about. That's when I feel it's appropriate to discuss it. Not that I won't discuss it at any time. I just feel like that specific topic, I want to really dive into it when the world really needs it. Especially I think even now we really need it. But like I said, I just want to say last week I also missed it because of filming before I also start. It was World Mental Health Day, and listen, don't feel judged, don't feel ashamed, don't feel like whether you have, and I don't even want to list anything because sometimes you list what people have and it's discouraging. I just feel like whether you have anxiety like I do, or I was told I have borderline bipolar disorder, which I really never, I can tell when I'm manic, but not to the where I need to be on any medications or anything like that. I try to take very good care of my body. I try to feed my body what it needs. They also told me I had that personality thing. But and it's not that I didn't want to educate myself. I did. I have therapy and I do stuff like that. But it's important for me to do things that align with myself, that I don't forget. Like, I know I love writing, I love singing, I love reading. I know a lot of people are like, I never see you read. I'm like, because I'm like a closet reader. I like to read in my bed, away from the world, and seclude myself. And I love autobiographies. Like, I just got Paris Hilton's book, and actually the next episode I'll show you guys, because it's actually signed too, and it's what's that I have it. I love her. She's probably one of the biggest influences in my life. And that's just because I love her entrepreneurship. I love the way that she's been able to be a catapult in the industry. So, and there's a lot more. I do, like I said, there's an episode and a place for everything. But uh please, back to that, please, if you ever feel like you need to talk, I have people who follow me and they reach out, and of course I wouldn't we don't disclose things here. I'm not a rat, but you're not alone. And it's something that I also realize. There's days that I have my emotional standpoints where I feel like, oh my God, if I call and I discuss this, or I go and I bring this to someone, I'm bringing my drama to someone else's life. I'm bringing, and it discourages me. And sometimes that's why I just stated before, I have to write, because sometimes I go back into my journal and I see things that I write, like, listen, don't be discouraged. And if I have to read it 17 times, I have to stop myself and I go, okay, don't be discouraged. And I just wanted to I didn't get to say it on an episode now. So I just wanted to celebrate you guys and know that you have my full support, and we're all in this together. And, there's no right or wrong answer. I think the best thing and advice that I could give, is just don't close yourself off. Be open, and give people the chance. Sometimes we have a habit of judging a book by its cover, and, just by a person's demeanor or how they are. Like, people tell me, I'm a New Yorker, I live here, and they're like, you walk like you're unapproachable. And I'm like, are you kidding? Of course I'm approachable. I just know that not everybody is supposed to be my friend. So I don't want to walk around with a chip on my shoulder, but I don't want to walk around like, hi, hello, like, because then you bring the attention to yourself, but I just wanted to, again, give my love and support and know that me, my family, and everyone, we are here for you by any means. Totally. Now, like I said before, OC was a couple episodes in. Salt Lake City was starting, and we were ending Dubai, which the reunion was, wow. I think all the ladies bought it. But I love Dubai. I keep stating it, and I stated it in the beginning of my season. And I'm stating it now because I feel like the formula of the shows have just changed. Like there's a lot of resolve in Dubai, I feel, and I love that. Jersey is one of those shows that I feel like hasn't hit that point yet. And it really, I don't know if it ever will, so I just feel like certain formulas to certain shows have to go back, but they all looked phenomenal. They all brought it. And I think all of them should come back. Obviously I saw something happen with Saba and Sarah. I'm not sure what it was. So if someone who's a diehard and watches could fill me in. I read the statement. I don't know what she meant by that. But I do think the cast that they have is really, really good. I think that they're off to a steady good next season because they're all great. And like I said, I met Ayan, and I think Ayan is treasure. I can't wait to see her again. Can't wait for her to come back to New York or come to Florida. Wherever you go, I'm going, baby. I even plan soon to go to California. I've never been, and I'm dying to go. I'm the only person that loves like that lives like for the glamour and the glitz and all that. And when I mean, you're talking to someone who loves, you know, old Hollywood. Like I adore Marilyn Monroe. So I'm thinking to myself, I mean, one of my favorite cartoons, everybody that knows me knows is like Lion King, because I have a tattoo for it. I have a Hakuna Matata. But my other favorite is Roger Rabbit. I've always loved Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit. So I'm like the more the more you get to figure out about me. But anyway, before I get sidetracked, all the show started, and just like I said, I think it was a great ending. I think the season was good. I think they all look phenomenal. So, they ended off great. So we'll see what happens. Now, scooch over. Now, OC was already in action. And I'm going to say, not verbatim, but I'm going to try to state exactly what I stated on the finale because I just have to. The last time, I mean, I saw current everything now, and I can't wait. I mean, I don't know. I think Alexis Bellino was like, like desperate at this point to get her paycheck full because her relationship with John is a complete and utter joke. Like I don't, I don't quite comprehend. I just don't comprehend it. I really don't, and I think it's a Shannon season. I also don't want to be a Debbie Downer because I used to love Tamra when she first came on. But in the last two seasons, even when she came back, she's exhausting. Like, my thing is this, and like I said, I'm not going verbatim, but I'm going to try. The three amigas, well, we know that no longer exists, but and a little bit of blame, and I love Vicky as well, but I think the difference is that I think maybe privately the conversation took place because if you're two best friends between this one woman and she has a DUI, not saying that it's okay or it's a plausible, but again, I just stated before, whether it's mental health or whatever it is, some people go through a slippery slope. It happens. It's okay for Britney Spears, but it's not okay for someone else. No, it's absolutely okay. I just don't think, the saying, calling the kettle black, you were just throwing tequila shots every season. You're getting her drunk to the point she doesn't remember what she's doing, or you end up Tamara in a pool where your tits are out. You cannot go to someone and say, okay, but you've tortured me. Look at the lifestyle you've lived. All of a sudden now you've become Ave Maria, like you've lived a perfect life because you're becoming an older spinster lady. Like, no. And, then you have a podcast. And listen, the podcast with the housewife that she has, I won't even say the girl's name because I can't stand her. I think they both are meant for each other. That two P's is definitely something for them. I just think that they both live to create mediocrity without realizing, and maybe not so much Tamara, because I do say she's good TV, but her co-star hasn't been on TV, and even when they show her, I'm like, why are you here? I saw her come on, and I was like, why are you here? Like, they didn't want you on Beverly Hills. They kicked you out of there. And now they in OC, I feel like they should kick you out of there too. Just be happy that they gave you a wristband to attend BravoCon and keep it pushing. You had your time. I think it's time. There are some people I feel like deserve that. There are some like one day I think I'll go into it and I could give you guys a couple of lists, but there's certain people that I feel like could still be there. Like off the top of my head, like Lynn Curtin from OC. Like you might be, like an OG, but she should be able to attend. Gina Kioff should be able to go to BravoCon, even if it's Jersey. If you guys don't like her, listen, you invite Caroline Manzo to go every single time. Invite Danielle Staub. She has fans. Regardless of how I might feel, I feel that's someone that should attend. There are friends I feel that bring good capacity that should go and go too. Why not? There's a little bit of everybody, in a branch. Why not? Expand, express. Why not? But anyway, I just have such a bad taste in my mouth for that. I feel like if you're really a friend and someone, and I mean like a ride or die friend, you're going to have that conversation with them. You're going to tell them, listen, you need help, and I'll be there for you. If I can't have a glass of wine with you, maybe we can have a joint together, or and if we can't have any of that, maybe we can play chess. I mean, I'm not playing chess with anybody. I don't know how. But, like there's other outlets and ways to keep a friendship alive and healthy without it resulting to alcohol, period. And if you're gonna shit where you sit, at least have the decency to, to, to be 100 with people. Like you can't be 100 and say, no, I'm blurrier than thou, honey. No, no. And then your little scam with your friend. First off, a friend that tries to sue you from an ex, that's rat stuff. So I would rather be friends with Shannon than to be friends with Tamara. So and I feel like to a certain point, and people could be mad at me. It's not like I don't wish evil or anything on anyone, but Alexis came into the show very hot about John. So now if you can dish it, you should be able to take it. And if you can't take it, then you shouldn't be on reality TV. I have learned that first and foremost. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't think I have the skin for this. But I'm like, I have more than enough skin. I have more than enough skin. You could peel it. Even if you don't see it here, honey, it's there. You could try and slice and dice. You ain't hurting nobody on this end. But I do, in the same interim, I wish Shannon the best. I wish, I do see that she's, drinking here and there. But I do wish that, she finds comfort in her situation. And maybe sobriety for a little while is not a bad thing. Doesn't have to be forever. Doesn't have to be forever. But that's not a bad thing, So my prayers are out to her. And again, this season is good. You can't have OC without Heather Dubrow. You just can't. I absolutely love her. And I hope one day she sees me because I love to be on her podcast. I just love her. She reminds me of like, I mean, not in that way, but like lifestyle wise, she reminds me of like a Mariah. You can't get like if you go to Mariah Carey's house, you don't go to Mariah Carey's house looking scrunched up, babe. You go there with the best fit. You go there with the nicest shoes, and then you come there. I would go there with a personal bag. I don't care what kind of bag it is, top notch or not, with a pair of shoes that won't ruin her floor because, honey, I can't afford to replace them. I'm gonna be sitting there nice and comfortable, and I'm gonna hear her and me, "Hello, darling. How are you?" Like I just live to see her lifestyle and then to see her transition, with her motherhood and getting older and going back into possibly, just other realms of her life. It's good to see, and Terry as well. Um, I think what is the new girl's name? I think it's Jen. Jen's really good too. She's good TV. I don't know. I like that she's definitely finding her voice because the first season she was combative. But if Tamara threw a napkin on me, I would do more than just flip the table. So I don't. Like if I was that. You know what I mean? So realistically, I don't. But this season she's warming up. But I'm waiting to see what juice also drops. So let's see. And then all the other girls are great. I think Emily. I love Emily. I think Emily is great. She's just so transparent every season, and I like. There's just a likeness in her, and I think she's relatable in every aspect to every person that I think she really plans on having a anything with, like a friendship or just business wise. I think she just brings that to the table. Gina uh, is my fellow New Yorker. I have a, I have like a love hate frenemy thing with her. Sometimes I think she's great, and sometimes I look at her and I go, "Oh, you're from Long Island. I'm from Brooklyn. That's totally why." We have totally two different ways of looking at how we're going to respond to situations. But, like in the beginning of seeing her relationship and all that play out, I have a whole different outlook on that. Like, I don't care if you have 10 children. I have grandparents that are from the 40s, So for me, it's like, how do you think they did it? Like, I mean, granted, my grandparents don't have a million children, but, like on both sides, there's only four. Like, one had, one side there's two, and then there's two. So it's like, what do you want me to tell you? Nobody had a million children, but their children went on to have a lot, so they have a lot of grandchildren and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? But realistically, I have to tell you, the season is going just great. Now, I wait, because this is what really got me. Like, this is what really got me. Now, after I binge watched everything, and in between too, don't forget, I also had to watch the debate. Election is coming up. I think it's so important. I think everybody, if you haven't seen the debate, go watch it, inform yourself, and listen. We're in crazy times, so it's imperative that you go out and you vote. To me, I'm not getting into the politics part of it and who and what you want, but your vote matters. So make sure you go out and you do that. However you need to do it, go out and do it. Now, before because I said I have a habit of getting sidetracked. Now, everyone knows I always like the black sheep. There's like the housewives that don't last so long, unless they're like the champion housewives. Like, I love the ones that have been there, 6, 7 seasons. They're the ride or die ones, the OGs. I really have a thing for that. But when Salt Lake City, the last season was on, I had such a different opinion because you guys saw people. The breakout, of course, was Monica, Monica, however you want to say her name. And I love her. I think she is just so unfiltered. We have shared a lot of DMs with each other. Please reach out to her if you guys hear this. I'm dying to get her on my podcast. I would love to get her on and just have that conversation. I've been dying to have it since before she had her own podcast. So it would be great. But the reason I'm saying that is because when the finale of the last season aired, I, first off, as much as they like receipts, timelines, proof, whatever, I wasn't a lover of Heather. And I liked her when she first came on. That and the ending, I was like, how dare you? Even if somebody does do something, there's a group of 6 women. She's gonna become like the puppy dog that gets ran out of the or like the animal that gets ran out of the zoo. Like, come on. So I genuinely, to a certain degree, felt bad. Thinking, because I agreed with everyone else, how did you not bring her back? That's what I thought. And I still stand by that because I think she could still develop relationships with different women. I've always said that. The show, there's so much room in between them, even if you have to sit in the same room, who cares? There's enough room where you can break bread with plenty of them. But this season, I got to tell you, the new girl Bronwyn and the other girl Brittany, they are bringing it. Lisa Barlow, and I have to say this directly, and I hope one day you see this because I genuinely mean this because we're New Yorkers too. When you first came on the show, I adored you. Then I don't know. I guess as your friendships first started like to dissipate, like Meredith and everyone, I was like, oh, I said, oh my God, I can't. I was like, I can't. I grew like this thing, and I was like, oh, like I don't know. I don't think you're gonna last very long here. But this season, the New Yorker in you is coming out, and I'm living for it. You know, I think it's about time that you defend yourself, defend your relationships, whatever you need to defend, because you're at that point. You know, I think it's so good to see. I'm so happy. This is definitely going to be a good season for you. I love Meredith. Meredith is going to become a target. She's going to become a pinpoint. Okay, I mean a pinpoint, a ping pong. So get ready. And I adore you, Meredith. I do. I hope that one day you'll send me some caviar because I've never had it before. And it's not that I don't want to spend the money. I just don't want to order it. And then, you know, I get agitated easily. I'll throw it in the garbage. So I'm sorry. But I hear it tastes good. Kathy Hilton says it tastes great. So I'll have to expand my horizons, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I do intend on trying it at some point. And I'm not throwing shade. No one told me it was bad or anything. I don't want to spend $150 or $200 or whatever it is for a whole set of caviar. And then I open my mouth and I'm like, because I don't even eat raw oysters. Like I eat clams, I eat everything else, but the raw bar stuff, I ain't doing. You can keep the aphrodisiac. And it might be good, but it's not my thing. So I could skip out. But anyway, to continue, and I love that Mary Cosby is full-time again. I know that from my understanding, I think she didn't want to come back full-time, and then they told her to come back as a friend, and she did it. But she deserves to be full-time. She is just the best. You need someone quirky, funny, and now I find that she's a lot more relatable. Not that she wasn't before, but I just find that now she's just really not starting to, she's just really, really fitting in with this group, and her seeds are planted. Who else? Angie K. I do agree with what everyone says. Angie K sounds like Cher to a degree with the voice, but I don't know. I like her, but I also feel like she's another person that she's someone that I have to meet in person, because to me on TV, I feel like a friendship that her and I would have, it would flip on a dime. Because if I come to you, I agreed with Lisa. If I come to you and divulge, and you go back, and even though your intentions might be well, there's a certain way, you know, certain conversations should go. And the fact that the conversation went the way it did and how the defense can go, I get it. I get it. So I think she's good for the show too. I don't know how I feel about it yet. There's still some more time to go, because I'm one of those friends. I'm like, if I tell you that I'm going to the grocery store and somebody comes to my door and says, oh, where? He told me he was home. I'm in the bathroom taking a shower, or I'm sleeping, or I don't care if you tell them I'm cleaning my closet. I'm cooking, but I'm not available, unreachable to you. And I don't even know who told you to come knocking on my door at my crib. Because now whoever done opened the door, they gonna send you right back from which is wherever you came from. So, you know, I can understand. Period. And even Heather, I like Heather too when she first started, but then the last two seasons, I feel like, listen, you just told everybody in the beginning that your situation with Whitney is back and forth. Okay? Then you're with her, and now you're like, oh, Miss Lucy and Ethel, Thelma and Louise. No, no. Even if you're blood and you have beef, the beef don't die until you speak on it. You can't just say, oh, let's put a band-aid. Because you know what happens later? You deal with crazy Whitney. I think Whitney's beautiful. I think she's pretty. You know, I think she's, you know, like a good mom and a good wife, probably a great entrepreneur. I don't know how the business that she has. I've seen it on TV. I haven't seen it in person. like or like to look it up. I don't know what she's in, but I feel like you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself mentally so you can handle everything else that's going on around you, or else how do you do that? How do you compensate to have friendships, healthy marriage, and all that? And last season, you're still dealing with all these traumas. Okay, well, maybe certain therapies don't work. Maybe the natural born way of therapy will work. Sometimes, like I've learned, that as much as I'm super confident in myself and my body and everything and what I shine outside, but I am more emotional the older I'm getting. So I'm like, I expect from certain people, from certain friendships to love and respect, certain things and the boundaries and whatever. I do expect that. So when it's not done, there's a certain intention, I think, that's set. But like I said, I think that this season is going to be good. I know some people are probably like, oh, and like I said, I love Monica. I think she was a great, she carried that whole season on her own. Seriously. But I mean, they all had their own, but like, listen, for some, there are people who've gone on the show and they end up with no friends and they leave. They feel discouraged. Like, if you're strong enough to handle the TV and the people and them all not being on you, you're made for it. So you know what? And again, she's on the new season of House of Villains, and let me tell you, even that show is it's interesting. It's interesting. I wouldn't say I love it like that, but it's funny, like the way they all talk. But some of them, I really want some of these executives to call me. I'm like, please, I have so many names of people you could pick. Like, why do y'all keep picking like people like Tiffany, like New York? She's old and played out. Like, pick somebody else. If you guys haven't seen what is it, Love Court? Or Home Court, Love Court, whatever. I think it's Love Court. That's on Peacock. You have to see season 2. Lisa Ray, ooh, girl. First off, I already seen the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. I was sick and binge watching. I was clicking, reversing, playing, and shout out to Delicious, who was on the Flavor of Love, which you guys all know. She was on the show. K Michelle, who everybody knows I love, because I love me some K Michelle. Anybody who knows me and knows that I love R&B, y'all know that when I'm in my moods, I could go all the way to Mary. I could take a stop break at K Michelle, and then when I'm really in my feelings, Keisha Cole and me really be busting it out. So like listen, I know my music. I could go all the way back and I go all the way forward. That's why I tell people in the car, when you want to hear music with me, be very specific, because I could go into Barbara Streisand. I could go all the way into the 50s. I could take myself on a trip with Judy Garland. I could take myself on a trip with Mark Anthony, let alone Frank Sinatra. Grew up in such a diverse house that music, and especially when you're musically inclined like I am, and the way my family is, you know, you're prone to have a big selection of music, okay? Especially, I mean, I could list them. I even tell people one of my favorite sayings, and I know I'm going a little left, but just because it's on my brain, you know, and on my bucket list, because I was just talking to my mama. I said, I can't wait to go to Dollywood. I love Dolly Parton. I adore her. Just not just her music, just her personality, and it just shows you people from different walks of life and how they could be, and just, oh my God, one of my favorite sayings, honey, it takes a lot of work to look this cheap, and it's true. Like, you know how long it took me to do this hair this morning? You know how long it took me to put this one, not my left side, because my left side, I'm a lefty, so the left side is always good. Lefty Lulu's always good. But this one, took me like 4 shots. At one point, I was like, I was ready to just pluck it. You know what I mean? But I didn't give up. Kept it going. Then the eyebrows, this side was bigger than the other. So I said, oh, Lord have mercy. Had to even it out. Had to get, so I got busy. It takes me time, hair and makeup. And I always say this in every episode of my show that I do. Well, most of them. But it's true. I'm like, I'm my own production team. I am my own makeup artist. I am my own everything. I am my own name brand. So I'm like, it's a lot of work sometimes, but it's worth it. I'm not gonna come on camera looking like a fool. I want to look nice, cute. That's why I said in the beginning of the show. I was like, I don't want to air, I didn't want to air my finale because even as I was, now that I'll give you one glimpse as a hint, the ending of the show, I was giving the, the my thanks to my guests and to my listeners and whatever, like I just did in the beginning of the show today. And my phone starts to ring, and I was just like, hello. And of course, it was my honey bunny. So I picked up it. Hi, honey. Whatever. We're talking. And all of a sudden I said, done. It's done. I said, I'm in the middle of my thanks. Now, if I edit it out and go back in, it's not going to be genuine. I think like that. And I tell pretty much every new person or a new person I meet or someone who's a listener and asks me the constant question, I'm like, that's why I named my show Unscripted. I named it, look at the back. I don't know if they can see the preview on the bottom of the screen, but it says Unscripted with Champagne DeVoe, aka Lulu. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, Champagne DeVoe was a nickname that I gave myself after a long time because I always felt like, first off, a lot of people don't know. Right now, I'm in the process of revamping my line. I used to have a cosmetic line called U Cosmetics. I can't say much now, but it's going to be on a much bigger scale. Like I'm going to have a lot more than just makeup. Like I'm doing a lot of changes to it, giving it the TLC it needs. But the reason I'm saying that is because when I named it HUE, okay, not to be confused, not with you, it's Hugh, okay. But when I was thinking of a name, I was like, I want something upscale, something, really fancy, and something that is New York, Brooklyn, that really shows the layers of me and whatever. And then, of course, when you have, influences like, oh my God, like I can list so many, Frank Sinatra, Jay-Z, um, Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, Rita Moreno. I mean, I have so many. Like it's crazy. Every person that I have a real influence on, I've taken a piece from each and every one of them. But Mariah Carey specifically, it was always I'm a diva. I'm a diva. But I was like, I don't want people to call me a diva. Like I was like, because that's like for a diva. And I was like, what is a man who's a diva? Like, what would you consider? And I was like, Devo. And it sounds better instead of saying Devo. Like instead of diva and Devo, it's like the champagne Devo. It just has a nice, cute ring to it. And then of course, my nickname, it's just a beautiful nickname that I've had my whole life. Everybody's always like, Lulu, 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 Lulu. So I was like, okay, cool. And again, that's why I said my show was so beautiful because you grow into yourself. Like when I first started the show, I was on a whole different ball game, and you really grow into it. And then, everyone takes that ride with you. So it's really, really great. I'm just so proud of what I've been able to share with everyone. But now that I've shared pretty much all of that, Salt Lake City, like I said, their season is going great. I think the banter and everything is going so well. So I covered all of Bravo, but I just wanted to do this episode because I know it's been so long. I wanted you guys to have some new material. And believe me, I'm back in action. I have so many new things coming. Be prepared, be ready. I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. And be prepared for other topics. I know I always say that, but last season I kind of went tit for tat, different areas, went back and forth. Um, I'm gonna go into, a lot of my personal stuff, my life. I plan on going into a lot of different shows. Like normally I don't discuss politics and all that stuff. And I'm not going that route. But I mean, as far as there's so many other shows that I watch that I don't even like. People ask me, what do you do on the weekend? And I'm like, child, if I'm not watching a show that I have to, because I enjoy them, but I also watch for my audience. I watch a lot of shows on E. I watch a lot of Netflix. I watch a lot, like just to keep up. And I tell them, my real downtime, Lulu's chilling, is cooking myself a good meal. Or if I'm lazy, I'm in bed and I got Law and Order on because I love SVU. We don't play with Benson and Stabler at my house. And I absolutely love watching. Like, even though they tell me I know I'm almost 30, I'll be 30 next month, and I'm like, I, I still enjoy Disney movies. They relax me. All the cartoon favorites. I enjoy genuinely in watching that, and just regular movies, just any kind of movie. Because sometimes I love Harry Potter, Resident Evil. You can catch me in a love movie. Like, if you put on A Walk to Remember, I'll cry the whole damn time. So, there's a lot of other things that I do intend on getting into. And I also wanted to let you guys know, just so you don't forget, because I've gotten a lot of DMs and there's a lot of confusion. If Whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user, excuse me, you go to Spotify or you go to your iPhone where it says podcast, and you can just type in Lulu Ramos, and my show will come up, and you have not only all the shows, all the episodes. You scroll to the bottom. This is for my iPhone people on the podcast app. You go all the way to the bottom, and you'll see where it has a whole bunch of stars, and it says write a review. Please do so. It helps out so much. Please do so. I have a whole lot of people that listen to me that way. Please do so. If you are my Android users or my Spotify family, feel free to go on. When you click on, you can look up the same way, Lulu Ramos, or you can put Unscripted with Champagne DeVoe. They both come up, and you'll see there's a corner with a star. You click it, and you can put the star rating, and then I believe you can add words on it as well. Please do so. Like I said, it helps a million. And thank you also to everyone that goes on to my YouTube and subscribes. That's also at Champagne DeVoe. Make sure you guys go on, like, subscribe, follow, whatever. We watch everything, and like I said, I'm super excited, and I can't wait for you guys to tune in next week. We're going to have so much more topics. I have so many more shows to catch up after this. And like I said, thank you all so much for your love and support. And like I said, until next week.